Good night. And I'm here reviewing episode 6 of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And again, on second watching, I can actually get to admire the anime way more. Of course, this is more like a fourth watching, but it's fine. And now I'm analyzing it better. I can actually, appreciate it more for what it is. So there are a lot of themes actually on episode 6 that show up both in our lives, and honestly, it's just great storytelling. There's not a lot to talk about. Because I mean, whatever. The first image that really shows and really, gets us there is the whole burning ships. It's the old story of Colombo, the explorers in South America that burned their ships to not go back. And some would even say the blowing up of the pipelines on Nord Stream 1 and 2 are exactly like that. Burning down ships so you don't go back. And what is going on here is that Edward and Alphonse burned their house, their childhood house, to not go back and be very determined and blah blah blah. And that sounds really really cool and really really sound and almost actually mature. But again, get that in the back of your head, and then we come back to this on episode 13, I think. And you will see, and honestly, that's actually my conclusion over time, that is actually very childish. And honestly, it's kind of pathetic actually to just burn out ships and close doors for no reason, just so you get determined. Blah blah blah. Oh, I'm alpha. Oh no, it's kind of dumb, and we'll notice later on. Something else that happens is we actually notice that honestly, Edward is the one that inspired Winry to, go and fix automails, which goes back to episode 2, where Hawkeye basically tells her, you can take care of him. And he has an automail, so she goes there, and Edward has an automail. And Winry goes and learns how to fix automails to help and support her man, That's really romantic. That's really cool. And something else that happens just in that instance, Winry learns to like, fixing automails. I don't know. In my life, I kind of do the same thing. I over time think, oh, I'm gonna like this, or I'm gonna be passionate about this or that or that or that. But honestly, if you just spend a lot of time doing something, you just learn to like it, or at least you just learn to tolerate it. And maybe you can say, oh, but my boss sucks and everything. Yeah, the human aspects are different. But I mean, about doing something, mechanically speaking, you don't really need to like something to actually enjoy it over time. You just learn to like it. You just learn to be a master at it. There will be times where you get bored and everything. And again, a good book to talk about it is Mastery. Something else that happens in this anime, and yeah, I'm not a master here. That is really cool. Is actually Armstrong. His emotional outbreaks for everything that Edward and Alphonse say is actually really cool, because it really shows the gravity and the weight of the story, and how Edward and Alphonse actually suffer to get through things and actually do things. And that's really cool. And I like it that this episode really takes its time to just, tell its story, and really for them to rest and for them to actually, give the story some time, give the story some breather room, and actually make it more alive. And oh yeah, it's this one that shows Dr. Marco. I watched this episode like yesterday, so I don't remember which one shows Dr. Marco. But this one shows Dr. Marco in the beginning, and it's really cool because he shows again the whole surgery theme and the how bad war is and how ugly war is. And I mean, there's nothing actually practical I could see like for normal people that don't go through war. But you know, if we go through war, we kind of know what to do. But there's a something in Dr. Marco that shows through his character throughout the whole anime. That's really cool. He actually struggles with himself over and over again because he wasn't up to doing what he was doing, and he struggles that he conforms to doing something awful. And even now that I'm against the system. No, dude, you are conforming even now because you are actually just going and disappearing and just being complacent, being this family doctor and just disappearing and letting things happen. And you can see he actually struggles with that a lot. And that's really sad. That shows in this anime again and again. And again, I don't know how that relates to Japan in the World War II. I'm pretty sure it does. I'm pretty sure there are many people, even to this day, that struggle with conformity and how they could have done more to stop what was going on, or just not go with the flow. And that's a really cool thing. That's really cool that what they're showing there. And I'm just gonna say cool for a bajillion times until people just get tired. And again, in this episode, you can see Edward, saying he's a child and he's still struggling with how immature he is. But something struck in my mind that's really really cool because Edward is 15, but he's already becoming a man. But there's this whole theme today about delayed adolescence. And if you've seen this anime, the only reason Edward is actually maturing is because he is, in a situation that is forcing him to be mature. Meanwhile, in many times in our lives, we're really not forced to be mature. So there is no way for us to mature. So that's a really cool theme, and that's a really cool thought to have about delayed adolescence, and even for us to be more mature. And I think that we're in a time where really we're the ones that need to go out and go after our maturity and go out and just find adventures. And that's really cool. Thank you very much. If you like this video, please like the video. If you like the channel, please subscribe. If you for some reason want to give some feedback, please just throw it to me. Thank you very much, and see you next time.